We've gone through off-season program, but as we all know, Chance had a problem during the span of the season. Um, long, it had to go quite a while before he was actually able to throw. Um, in the off-season, Josh had hurt his foot. And the other guys are just very, very inexperienced. Now, Tyler has a little bit of experience because he's worked with us with regard to our two-point team. But the reality is that's not the same as running our entire offense. So right now, I don't think we know. We haven't had a practice yet. And I think for me, it's going to be very, very much what do the guys look like the first 2 or 3 days? And as they become comfortable, what are they going to look like the last 12, 13, 14 days? So what I'm hoping is that they become a little bit more comfortable and we wind up seeing good growth and leadership maturity and the ability to execute as time goes on. But I'm not worried about it too much right now, and right now I don't know. The way we try to establish our offense is that the offense goes into the season, goes into the springtime, with the idea that we want to be as balanced as possible because we're going to have to do. You can't only be a throwing team. You can't only be a running team. When we think about a game plan, sometimes we might emphasize one part of the game more than another because we think that's what they're going to give us. But most of the time we go into the game with we want to be 50-50. Whatever you give us, though, is what we're going to take. So some games we could be running a whole lot. Some games we could be passing a lot. So I think that the difference, Julia, between now and what we've had in the past is just the inexperience of the quarterbacks. So we're going to run the offense similarly to the way we always have. We're not automatically going to assume we're going to be doing something else, but if we're not as effective throwing the ball earlier on, or if the guys are not as effective being able to really understand the nuances of our offense and being able to adjust and adapt to that actually on the field, then what we'll do is we will simplify that a little bit more and emphasize other aspects of the game. If they come along more quickly, we won't do that as much. But I think it's always a matter of kind of what we're able to execute as opposed to we've got to do one thing versus the other. I'm disappointed, and I think a lot of this is on me that, we lost at two games at the end of the season. We lost by 1 point or 3 points or whatever it was in the last minute. The year before, we lose in the last couple of seconds on the last game of the season. So when you think about those things, is there something that we could have done on offense, defense, or special teams that might have made a difference in 1 point or 3 points? And I have no doubt there are. And when I have looked at some things, I think there are certainly some things we could have done better. There were some mistakes that some of our guys, I won't get into who now, I won't be too specific about this, but there were some mistakes, frankly, that our guys were making in October that we were still making at the end of the season. Now, that's not acceptable with regards to the performance of our guys. But as a coaching staff, that's also our job. So if we know we weren't good in a particular area, we were weak, or we were making mistakes at a certain time, we should have improved that or else not been using that stuff. So I think for me, I'm disappointed in terms of what's happened over the span of the last couple of years. I think had I done a better job as a head coach, I think our staff would have been a little bit more focused on it. I think our team would have been a little bit more focused on it. So going into this season, it's the beginning of this huge transition we're going to make with regards to our program. Everybody that's going to graduate this coming season, it's part of their legacy in terms of what we wind up doing forward. And I think the ability to be able to go out on the field, it's not changing our mission. We want to put a team on the field that Coastal is going to be proud of. And the BAM concept's not changing at all. We want to take responsibility for ourselves and to be accountable for our actions. So if all those things are the case, then there should be nobody on the team and nobody in the coaching room that will look at this season any differently from we got to go out there, we got to be focused, we got to do the best possible job we can, and if all things come together and we have that type of commitment and we go after that type of way, maybe go down as the finest team Coastal Carolina's ever had. Now, we're a long ways from that yet, but there's no ifs, ands, or buts about the seriousness that we're taking this season. So I feel even more intense, frankly, because I think I kind of let us down.
Coach, your South Carolina Hall of Fame humanitarian award, can you talk a little bit about that, what it means to you to receive that type of award, and maybe a little bit about what you're most proud of that you've accomplished so far here at Coastal?
Well, no, I think I'm certainly very, very honored as far as the award goes. I'm humbled and I'm flattered. I just found out about it fairly recently as well, and at least the way I understand the award, that it's through your football program, the impact that you've been able to have on your school, outside your school, the community, the state. So we make a big deal about, it's not just about football, it's about how you develop, how you lay a foundation upon which to live later on. It's about the impact you do have on your school, it's about the impact you have on others, it's about the impact you have on your community. So I am incredibly proud. I am really very incredibly proud of what we've been able to do along those lines. And for that to be recognized over the span of our 4 years here by the decision makers or the voters with regards to the humanitarian award in South Carolina is an incredible honor for me and for our program. Yes, I think it's a good thing you asked that question now. Yes, he begins right away. He'll be ready to go. So he should be 100% as of today. Well, he fits in fine with the staff. He fits in fine when he interacts with the team. And but today he's going to be his first day of practice after he's been away for about 3 years. So I have no doubt that Mickey brings tremendous experience and expertise to the table. I have no doubt that he's going to be a tremendous asset to us. But at the end of the day, he's going to have the same job we all have, and that is, however we begin spring ball, we're supposed to be better at the end of spring ball. So none of that has taken place yet. Yeah, now Mike can help me with this a little bit, but yeah, there is a list. Devin Brown broke his finger or his hand. He's going to have surgery, I think, potentially tomorrow, so he's not going to be able to practice. But no, there are a couple guys that are in that boat that we got to be careful with. Mike, do you have the names? So we'll have all those for you. We'll have all those for you over spending the next day or so. And we have that, and I have that too. I'm just off the top of my head. I don't want to skip a couple guys and then they're not out there.